I pozdrav youtuberi, pozdrav gameri. Dobrošli u moj novi live stream. Sad ću opet jedan game pre nego što dođe Clash, jebao ga. Jebaj ga ku. Boom! Too easy dude, give me that crown. Sad ću opet jedan game pre nego što dođe Clash, jebao ga. Jebaj ga ku. Ti si bebo, hacas. Telo me rasvira u kosmos, na meni mleko miriše na kakas. Ko je sad Vivi? Zašto mi iskaču njeni ripostez? Koji kurac. I'm a smooth dude. I 10 youtuberi, 10 gameri i dalje imamo 0 pregleda, ali nema veze, sad će Mr. Beast da uđe. Znači, sad into chat. Ovo te mogu da chatujem, jebote. I šta, sam se ja jedan pregled, ali tako? Sam jedan pregled ili? Sad će 0. Ili neko stvarno ušao da me bodri u mojim ciljevima u postanku pravog YouTube gamera. Ćao jednom pregledu moj. Hahaha, sad sam srećen im jedan pregled. Daj mi Mordekaiser, don't ban Mordekaiser. Kogo da me gleda I love you to the moon and never back. OMG. OMG. Sorry brother. A može jedan viewer da se javi u chatu? Please.
A daj lik.
Te bra, streamujem ono, dečko.
Dečko nemaš
Dečko streamujem te bra. Ne, čuti te bra, previše ljudi me gleda, nemoj da me blamiraš sad.
Imaš jednog viewera Todora Markovića.
Voliber. Ali provjeram na Todor Marković, pošto se moj viewer ne javlja u chatu. Neće mi kaže ćao Mitex. Možda neki random. Neću da budem sama. Tero, moram da sad namontiram drugi monitor, da povežem TV i da mogu čitam chat, moj chat, pošto ga previše ljudi spamuje. Kenny Angel. Not bad talking. Sad ću igram ovako ranke su na caru, dok ne prestignem Vuleta, koji je, let's check. Jebeno mi treba, čekaj. Jebeno mi treba s 50, znači 50 LP, pa sam, ovo tebra, dobro, dosta mi treba, 250 LP i 3 vina za promo i prestigao sam čeva. Hvala braću. Hoću da budem sama. Dobro brate, neću da gledam svoj game onako, nego da gledam. Te bravo, nema više nijednog viewera, ono, pričam sam s ovom ko debil. Molim kurac, iskreno. Lik ima skin za Zeri. Alo. Alo, brate. Mogu uđemo Discord call. U slučaju da mi neko uđe Discord call sa mnom, da mogu pričati. Joj. Uspavat ću se, majke mi. Evo, sad zatvoreno. Skroz, naskroz. Prozor malo zatvorit. Tako, stari, tako je, stari! Još sam hypovan. Alt tab, nova viewera, ide gas. Are you lonely? Yes, I am lonely because I have 0 viewers, brother. And I have a strong feeling that my botlane is going to fucking destroy. Zoya maybe destroy this bitch, just maybe. Trundle hardly destroy his ass and I fuck this up, man. Fuck this man up. Dobro, glava. Wow. Šta je dobio? Kak? Nigeria fun. My man is racist, bro. Ćao moj YouTube streamu, samo da vam se pohvalim sa mojom novom slikom na Discordu. Lelouch di Britannia. Ide gas. Vozim crni BMW. Ok, ću telemetriju. Ok, no čekaj, klikćeš dobro. Ajmo! Neću da budem sama. Ajmo, minions have spawned. Napadnite ga, silujte ga. Silujte ga dok ja silujem Volibera. Znači ovdje, trundla. Koliko dosadan lik, ubite ga. Šta radi? Hello man. Volim kuricu smo. Prokuo sam ti ovi penis. On sam mora se pazim mrligima od ovih šampiona. Ha, nabudu glavu. Dobra je, sve minion će tenkom, tebe lagano je. Nabudu bum, ništa. I tog sam mašao, čisto da mašim, moram kuricu. Nabudu ne, jebi ga maši se. Jo, nemoj me slučajno nabast u glavu. Te bral si dosadan! Sam se iznervirao. Edo ja. A tu si burice. Jo, prerano sam kliknuo Q. Big meet a gap tebra. Samo možemo preveliko. A mogu ja njega. Ha, jebem ti mate. Aj, brate, static omaš skena. That's a sad story. But I really want to kill him like this. E pa imam flešku. Aaaa. Oh shit man, I missed all the creeps, bro. Gotta step up my farming abilities. Ajde, pokupi minionica ovo. Aj si dosadan cavan. Ma kaki bre fighting. Daj mi farme. A što? Huge. Pa nemoj. Koliko si lud. Ali, what? Why? Farmim ono shutdown. Eški ubila sve. Nice. Saksić in my assets. Te bra, mi to... Fokus! Look at this wave, bro. Look at this big O wave, bro. Uš! Nabao sam te pre shielda. Daj pretarde. Oh shit. Oh shit, nigger. Jesi me slovo, jesi me ti kuo. Aj, rejpuj me jače, bre. Jebi mi kevu, bret. Ne, isto to sam ovako. Neću mi to kupit ću ovo, jasno. Ne, sad ću ovdje ovo, pa neću moći ništa. Streamlabs 0 viewers, unlucky. Mita div, znači. Ali double killing K-check. Te brat, burice nema kurčenja, brate, sad ću ti ispušam ceo wave, brate. Ti nemaš teleportation, bro. Jep, samo nebijem ja čekam. Znači sad će se vratiti na lane sa 1500 golda teba. Lidom. Shutdownove je... Seks. Pa gdje si ti healthy, brate? Među meni ima shotana. Bez ne može ništa. Ću wall cup. Dobar cannon te bro, samo ti pleši. A, sad ću ja džuskam. Šta je lik poludeo? Ja ne smijem vodi. Haha, dobar lead, majmune ja. Oh shit. Te bra, šta je s ovim govnetom, brat? Too strong for me. Imamo jednog viewera, ajde bre, pozdrav brate. Pozdrav brate moj. SG Gaming, šta je to? A ovo te bre neko gledao kako ovo radi. Neko isto gleda kako mi rastura čmar, voliber, te bra. Mojem 1.2.1.80 poteče. Ko je jedan viewer, brate? Ko je jedan moj bratan? Jebi ga Zoji, odličan, ulti. Ne. Nemojte mi ne. Ono šekem, moj pasiv is broken with your E. Shut the fuck up, retard ape. XN, ovo Nautilus je 6.06 tačnije. Da je Velibor. Nema ga, tako ću ja rastret kule. Good job, Dimitri, retard. Aha, hoćeš. Hahaha. Gdje ste, braćo? Slobodno. Slobodno, ko želi u sex dungeon sa mnom? Ko će u rape session? Kada hoće? To lega. Basic. Ne! Au, unlucky. Srbina ruka, brate. Ko mi uvijelo nešto? Haos. Prelepo, ljudi. Mislim, Silver 3, ali svakako predivno. Silveru su zube ne gleda. Smora, brate, pogodio me sa ability. On ima nešos. On je jak, te bro, nije ni on zabaca. Bum! Ja ću ovaj plate. Znam sam će nam to djelo. Dobro, on je htio mene iskreno da isprebije. Ali Luče neće mu ubije, hvala te bra. Nisam neki. Te bra, jede me kancer neki te bra na ruci. Jedan prišao sa sobom kod im prijatelja. Trundle. Wow, skilled nigger. Retard ape. Uništi mi kuru čak. Dobro, nije vrt, mogu. Uš! Alo bre! Moj bratan. Ebre, i dalje mi jebe ruka. Kancer ruke. A moj Kenja FK. Šta? How long? Gdje si Marko, jesi mi ti gledao live stream?
Ne.
Evo ga Todor, ali se ne čuje.
Todor.
Nisam čuo kako ušao.
Ne čuje se ni kad te neko zove.
No, to sam isključio. Eto, to lijek u glavu tebra. Tebra, jel Kane igra? Eto, sad ću buknuti cijelu džunglu na topu tebra kad je nije pokupio na vrijeme. Ja sad ću tu bijem. Ajde bre, dođi vama. Uzer je huge. Huge on my ass, bro. Ovo te bra, rapuju nas. Dobro, ću lako pušam to bolam kurcirka. Odlično. Te bra, aj svi jedan po jedan idemo umiram, hoćete? Mislim da to nije spika, te bra. Mislim, moj tim misli da to spika, ali ja mislim da to nije spika, pustim samo. Kakav virgin jebeni. Todore, brate. Ne čuješ se, konju. Kao da pričaš, ali se ne čuješ. Znaš šta ti kažem, te bro. Što sam krenuo vamo? Jedan, dvajte me ću oblika prebijem samo bat. Čekaj, kao i dalje ne mogu da prebijem ove minene. Ne čuješ si dalje. Fast finish, it's unplayable because you're ass. Sad te čujem.
Mora neko da izađe sa Discorda.
Kako ti misliš neko? A?
Da se resetuje, pošto te je zabalo.
Da izađem, a?
Ne moraš ti. Ja sam izašao.
Jel me gledaš live?
Stvari ne gledam.
Pa ne možeš potrebno me lažeš te, bro.
Pa zato sam ti rekao da ga ne gledam.
Kako ih bijem te... Au! Au te bra, I can't play like this, niggers. Trundle me kolje te bra, Trundle me jebe. Treba mi još farma, treba još golda. I ne tim koji troši i umire. Koliko način karma tebe najveće? Handle is retarded. ISTG. Sad ćemo sad sve da ih prebimo. Znači tu kivret, sad će da mi nalupa šamare Trundle. Dobro, Zeri Wilding. Zeri luda struja. Okej, Zeri više nije luda struja, ali sam ja luka noć. Da tebe, ona će luda. I nezaborona. Bum. Dobro. Ez. Bum. Dobro, Zeri dilo ozbiljno damage. Te brać, prestaje tenku, že mi krije Jakšiću. Sad opet tenkujemo, o bože, Isusa Hrista, sad čuvaj. Oni imaju Ashe u timu.
Upravo ne reća zvonu na telefonu. Nakon je upravo ne reća zvonu na baba. Na prijatelj.
Shutdown njemu, dobro. Ono kurca. Ward. Nije Ward.
Nemoj. Aldo će sad gledati, nemoj. Viš tamo. Kako je napolju? A hladno napolju?
Da, te bi padala kiša, ne znam koji basket vidite, te vram.
Naravno, to nećemo što. Nećemo basket, nećemo gledati.
Maša čekaj. Prazna je kuća skroz i ti ćeš ovdje sediš. Idi u dnevnu sobu.
Samo na polos.
Ono je mene penis, bre, šta je tamo. Dodre, jesi tu?
Jesam.
Dobro, čuješ se. Gdje je nestao na auto?
Ovo da proštimo ove patice.
Da.
A?
Pa ne, pa da ćeš.
Napada. Nismo imamo.
Kaže losing.
Neću ići probiti.
3-0 u Drakeovima. Ja sam 6-5 Mordekaiser sa skoro 200 farma, te bra unkillable sam. I Zed je upravo umrla pred Drakea. Dobro, njihov ceo tim obina. Okej. Okej, VP te bra.
Kako se kaže grom na engleskom?
Thunderclap, tačnije, tako nešto. Nisi siguran. Te brazeri, zašto intuješ cico mico? No kapuj ga. Daj mi taj switcha, da? No kapuj da mogu flash ultam. Mogu ovako da ultam. Jej, Volibear ima shutdown. Jej. Bravo, Velibare. Moje mine. Da, možda samo dođem na crash. Jao. Imaj se igraču mogu budu Oh man. Šta samo se zaleti čovjek u tebe, te brati stoljaga ono. Gde si kurvo? Prošao sam u prazno. A šta oni rade na topu sad? Sedamnaest 6 Katarina. Šta? Okej, FF angle. Ko je to flashao? Koji retard je flashao? Kad će ih se one-shotovati? Sve će da vas obriše. Opa, možda i neće. Ajde. Te bro! A šta je sa movement speedom? Ne mogu. Ajmo FF, ljudi, hoću igram Clash. I zašto samo ti i ja u kolu, te bra, treba igramo za 5 minuta sam neđe.
Ne znam.
Dobro, imat ćemo još jedan teamfight, te bra. Gle zove. Level 14 zove. Ovi kraj nam briše kule, te bra. No, ovo jezivo, jezivo. Powerball na kurac, nek tebe hukuje, te bra. No, će sad FF. Dobro, ajmo, Clash. Gasio je nalog. Ja mogu se istuširam na brzaka, te bra. Baš ono smrdim. Što je to angle, a?
Ne.
Da, moram, te bra, ne mogu ako igram Clash, te bra. Sad ću za 10 minuta stream, vraćam se. Samo da pustim ovom streamu neki zanimljiv YouTube sadržaj. Da gledaju. Evo, Python full course. Da im to pustim da gledaju. Evo ga.
Još jedan projekat je završen.
Evo, idem se okupam, čao. Čekaj da mutujem mikrofon, mogu to? Mikaux, evo.
Zaboravila sam svoj Swift kod.
I možeš da radiš globalno, a plaćaš
Supposed to be a fund of $100 billion?
Yes.
Now that would be the biggest fund ever raised. So when you told people you were going to raise a $100 billion fund, did they tell you you were a little crazy?
Well, some people said.
Massa Son was once the richest man in the world for 3 whole days. And then he lost about $70 billion almost overnight, the biggest personal loss in history. He once managed to secure $45 billion worth of funding after a 45-minute meeting.
$1 billion per minute.
He's also responsible for the single greatest investment ever made. But on the other hand, many feel he's simply a crazy gambler who treats the economy like a casino, and that he's causing catastrophic damage. This is a man who once threatened to set himself on fire if he didn't get a business deal. A man who's invested billions of dollars in entrepreneurs purely based on the sparkle in their eyes. And yet, I love him. You see, I've recently been making videos telling the stories of totally different businesses, like Uber, Yahoo, TikTok, and yet Masa-son always seems to be connected. I feel like I'm in that movie where Jim Carrey starts seeing the number 23 everywhere, but for me, all roads lead to Masa-son. The majority of
Koliko je ovaj
the
Deezer
really love
retardiran
Masa-san
što ne možeš da
but
skineš
they
pesmu
should.
sa njega,
He is quite
brate.
literally changing the world and betting on our future. And his story is one of the most fascinating I've ever heard. It's inspiring, it's terrifying, and most of all, it's absolutely insane.
Pocket.
Is he the world's most astute tech investor, or is he the luckiest guy on the planet?
Masa-son's grandparents emigrated to Japan from South Korea by hiding on a small fishing boat. They had no food, nowhere to stay, and couldn't speak the language. Masa's start in life was similarly bleak. He was considered an outsider in Japanese society because of his heritage, and his childhood classmates threw rocks at him. His father barely made enough to get by, and did any odd jobs he could to make money, from raising pigs to selling illegal liquor. From an early age, Masa was adamant he wanted to build a better life for himself. The bullying he received as a kid only made him more determined, and by middle school, Masa decided on his life plan. He wanted to become Japan's most successful businessman. He idolized a man named Den Fujita, who had brought McDonald's to Japan. Masa spent hours as a teenager calling Den's office asking to speak to him, but the receptionist always told him he was too busy.
They don't give me the right answer, so I said, okay, this is a waste of my telephone bill. So I flew into Tokyo, and I said, I came because the phone call becoming more expensive than air ticket.
Den was impressed with this kid's conviction, and that he'd flown to his office to see him. He agreed to a 15-minute meeting with Masa, who asked him for advice.
Yeah, I asked him, what business should I do? Computer, that's the one.
Den's other recommendation was simple. Masa should go to America. Masa immediately took this advice to heart, and at the age of just 16, he went to California to pursue his dreams.
Yeah.
He brushed up his English, then went to an American high school.
Tigraš mid.
However, just a few days in, he realized this was taking too long, and convinced the school to let him take the college entrance exam early. Now, whilst Masa was very bright, he wasn't really ready for the exam, but somehow he just managed to scrape through. So less than a month after enrolling as an American high school student, Masa graduated and went to study economics and computer science at the University of California. Of course, he also needed money, and he asked his friends if there were any jobs where he could make $10,000 a month, but only work 5 minutes a day. His friends obviously thought he'd lost the plot.
So I said, okay, what is the best, most efficient use of my time? It's invention. So I set the alarm clock 5 minutes. Come, invention, come, right?
Masa spent 5 minutes every day coming up with new invention ideas, so he could patent them and sell them on. Of course, not all the ideas were great, but there were some gems in there, because Masa realized there were 3 approaches to coming up with ideas. The first was to search the solutions to problems he had in his life. For example, when his round pencil kept rolling off the table, he considered a square or hexagonal pencil instead. The second approach was looking at things from the opposite perspective, like taking something big and making it smaller, or taking something red and making it white. For example, he came up with a traffic light with different shapes, so colorblind people could tell which phase the light was on. And his final tactic for ideas was combining existing things, like merging a radio with a tape recorder to get a radio cassette player. By the end of the year, Masa had a book with 250 different invention ideas. Masa decided the best of them was a pocket-sized device that translated text into different languages. He then found a physics professor who agreed to help him build a prototype. Masa then started spending all his time pitching companies to buy his new device, and he paid another Asian student to take his places in the lectures that he was missing. Eventually, Masa found a company called Sharp who agreed to buy the device patent for $1.7 million. So at the age of just 19, Masa was technically now a millionaire. Meanwhile, as a sort of side hustle, Masa had begun importing Space Invaders arcade machines from Japan over to the US, where he was setting them up in bars and restaurants. Since this was a new thing for the US, they were a big hit, and within just 6 months, Masa had imported over 350 arcade machines and made a profit of over $1 million. The beauty of this was that because he bought the machines on credit and imported them by plane, which was more expensive but much faster, he would often make his money back from the machines before he even had to pay the machine supplier. It was clear Massa had great entrepreneurial instincts. Of course, it also has to be acknowledged that Son simply worked incredibly hard. There's understandably a lot of talk about the negatives of hustle culture, but Son worked 7 days a week, sleeping as little as possible, because he enjoyed the process, and clearly it was paying off.
Right after I graduated, I went back to Japan because I promised to my mother that as soon as I finish my college, I will be back to Japan. So I kept my word.
Massa knew he wanted to use the money he'd made in America to help build an even bigger business in Japan. He began brainstorming new business ideas and mapped out 40 potential businesses he could start, then ranked them based on different metrics. The best scoring idea was a company that distributed computer software, and thus he created a new company called SoftBank. Now, at this point in the early 80s, personal computing was still in the very early phases, but Massa was extremely optimistic about the industry, especially after his old mentor had told him to focus on computers. Massa believed SoftBank could become the top distribution company in Japan, despite the fact he had absolutely no experience with software. He hired 2 employees to help him, and one morning he stood on a crate in the office and told them that SoftBank was going to become a billion-dollar company. But both employees soon began to think he was crazy, and they quit soon after. And at first, it looked like those employees might have been right. SoftBank struggled to take off. Massa tried to start some magazines to generate interest in computing, but they didn't take off well either. Pretty much everyone was telling him to stop, as he was going to blow all the money that he'd earned. But Massa ignored them and kept plowing more and more money into the business. And eventually, his persistence paid off. SoftBank then rode the wave of demand in personal computing in the early 90s. And then, disaster struck. Son began to feel increasingly ill and was diagnosed with chronic hepatitis and became bedridden in hospital. Massa was a workaholic and nervously asked how long the treatment would take. The doctor told him there was no guarantee they'd even be able to cure him at all. Massa had finally got his company up and running successfully, and now he was facing the fact he might not have long left to live. He had a daughter who was only a year old, and his wife was pregnant with another child. To complicate things further, Massa had taken out loans from the bank to help fund the company, and he knew they'd pull his funding if they found out about his illness. So Massa had to keep up the facade that everything was fine, and would sneak out of the hospital to turn up for company meetings. Thankfully, Massa recovered. But his health scare convinced him that he needed to act even bigger, faster, and crazier, since he couldn't take any time for granted. By the middle of the 90s, SoftBank had 800 employees and $1 billion in revenue, and Massa took the company public to raise even more money. Software distribution had been very successful, but it wasn't enough for Massa. He had such a clear vision of how technology was going to change the world. And so he started making investments in other tech companies and became known for making audacious business bets. For example, he threw millions of dollars into a new company called Yahoo at a valuation of $40 million. When the company had its IPO a few months later, it became valued at $808 million, meaning SoftBank had made a gigantic return in just a few months. Massa was building a war chest, but he never sat on that money. He'd always reinvest it right away into something new. By the end of the 90s, SoftBank was a giant conglomeration that was basically acting like a venture capital fund. SoftBank's main business was no longer selling anything, it was buying other tech businesses that Massa believed in. For example, in 1998, he poured $400 million into E-Trade after a single call with its founder. However, if you want to start investing in businesses yourself, then you'll want to know about our awesome video sponsor, Moomoo, a stock trading platform that's offering some incredible bonuses for new users. Right now, if you use the link in the description, you can get up to 5 free stocks worth up to $3,500 each. I repeat, free stocks. You have nothing to lose here, so it's a no-brainer to sign up. What I love about Moomoo is that not only is it a great platform to buy and sell stocks with 0 commission fees, they also provide you with research tools so you can make more informed decisions about what to actually invest in. And in case you're wondering, yes, you can trade shares of SoftBank. So no matter whether you're just starting out with investing or you're an experienced investor looking for a great all-in-one platform, Moomoo is the perfect choice. I have genuinely not seen any platform offer such great bonuses, so make sure you use the link in the description now so you can get those free shares yourself when you deposit any amount. After you've done that, let's get back to the story. By the end of the 90s, Massa had invested $3 billion into 800 different tech startups, and SoftBank employees were struggling to even keep track of them all. Massa was meeting 200 entrepreneurs every 3 months to try and find the next big opportunity. Now, of course, not every investment was a success. Plenty of them failed. But Massa had come to an important realization. One big winner could mask all the other failures combined. He didn't need to be right with every investment, as long as he had a few big successes. And in the year 2000, that's exactly what happened, when Massa made what's considered the best venture capital investment of all time. Massa heard about a Chinese internet company called Alibaba, and absolutely loved what they were doing. The founder, Jack Ma, initially said they didn't need any investment right now, but Massa was persistent. Even though the company only had a few employees, Massa sensed the huge potential and said he saw a sparkle in Jack Ma's eyes that he could build something incredible.
He had no business plan, 0 revenue, but his eyes was very strong.
They agreed a deal for SoftBank to invest $20 million into the company, and that stake would later become worth over $70 billion. That same year, Massa raised the largest Japanese investment fund ever, which he began throwing into hundreds of internet companies, since he believed the internet was the next big phase of technology that would transform the world. The New York Times started calling Massa the Bill Gates of Japan. In fact, for 3 days in the middle of 2000, Massa passed Bill Gates as the richest man in the world. But then the dot-com bubble burst, the market crashed, and Massa lost $70 billion. More wealth than any
Ajmo, momci.
I pozdrav moj YouTube streamu, evo me nazad. I'm back.
Neko je puši kurac, pardon. Šta gledaš da Unicorn Hunter?
Šta da imam?
Ajmo, klešeri, ili imaš delay?
Da.
Imaš delay?
Imam. A kako je isključen delay? Sad ću restartujem stream ako...
Imaš delay jedno 5 minuta.
5 minuta?
Ne, jedno 30 sekundi možda.
Ajmo klešeri. A kako je isključen delay taj?
Ja mislim da ne može.